Turn the other way. Stop. Changing subjects. I want to talk a little bit about what makes a great fusion student. Because for me, that's a big part. Sure, yeah, you can sit down for a second. But if we're going to sit, let's all come this way so I don't feel like I'm not talking to people. I know, but then there's people behind me and all. That's cool. All right, so what makes a great fusion student for me? It's someone that is constantly questioning and constantly looking for more of the fundamental of something and building off of that. How does that fit within the fundamental? Because if you think about dance in general, most people are like, I'm going to use Lindy Hop because it's my most, the dance I've studied the most. So if you look at most teachers, most students in Lindy Hop, they come at it from a perspective of how do we do this move in Lindy Hop, right? Rather than how do I do this move, period. With anybody in the world, doesn't matter. And some people do come at it, I'm not saying everybody comes at it from that, but it tends, and even in class, to come at it from a perspective, even on accident, of like, how do we do this move within the concept of Lindy Hop, right? So there's certain defaults that we have in dances, right? In Lindy Hop, the defaults can be, depending on the area, they can be that you dance in counterbalance. Counterbalance is when you use your weight to balance your partner's weight. So if you release, you're not going to stay in the same spot. You're actually going to move away from each other. Or if you're on inward counterbalance, if you were to move away from each other, you would go towards each other. It tends more in tango. Some people dance in counterbalance, right? Not everyone, again, in both dances, not everyone dances. There's some people that believe let's not dance at all. Awesome, Becky. Let's not dance at all in counterbalance. Everything's on our own balance, and then there's people that meld in between, right? And for me, like as a student, I'm always looking at it going, okay, are these, even though these people are saying like, we're always dancing in counterbalance, I'm going to look at how do I actually lead my partner into that rather than assuming it, right? How do I actually do the part that is assumed rather than just assuming? So questioning both like the teaching, like the everything, just questioning, not questioning like you're doing it wrong, but questioning like, I wonder how that works. I wonder if that's actually within physics or if that's a styling option, right? Because we also have lead follow like within physics, and we have like styling, which is not lead technical things. It's more things that you do to make the dance fit a little bit more and things like that. Does that make sense? Those two are usually a little bit separate. Yeah. So looking at the dance also from that quizzical, like how do we, or what is styling, what is the lead follow, what do I have to do with this movement from the lead follow standpoint, and what can I choose to do? Yeah?
Which brings me to your question, when the styling was uncomfortable, it was easier to sort of deflect it in a way that was more comfortable. But when something was actually physically painful, like when someone was doing a move where like they were bringing your arm up behind your back, to go with it and then to try and change it is very difficult. So when the physics part changes,
Go ahead.
Texas Tommy?
Can you try to bring my arm in the position you want it to go in to hurt me? Go ahead. I'll try to hurt it.
Where's the yes?
Can you try really hard? Okay.
So you blocked it.
Yeah. Like you guys
Where's
don't.
the yes?
That's not fair though, because we like I don't mean stereotype, and I apologize. Often girls are weaker than guys.
Everybody probably believes that she's a little bit weaker than me, okay? I'm going to try to, this move where you pull back on your partner there? Okay, I'm going to try to pull as hard as I can there, and I want you not to let me, okay?
I go for the elbow and the wrist.
Now, hold on. Now, nobody pulls that hard, right? But this time I want you, instead of me pulling on you, instead of resisting it, I want you to connect it to your body and move backward. Just move backward. That move is a move. It's just a weird one. It's spin and now walk backward. Yeah? It's just we're not always paying attention to our bodies and what we have choice over. So I'd like us to think about like what does hurt us and not let people put us in those positions, right? And it's not to say that position isn't possible at first she tried to bring my arm back and I stopped it here. But then I realized, actually, it's not going to hurt until here. I'm going to let her go a lot further. I let her go to here. And then I was like, okay, this is my limit. I don't want it to go any further. So explore your limit, but at the same time, know your limit. Okay. So I want to get back to the concept of the student, right? And the thing I also wanted to say was, as a student, I like to constantly look at how do we make this even better than it already is, right? How do we take this concept, whether it's a class thing or whatever, how do we take that and actually like improve upon it, right? So we're going to try that out with my class. What the heck? I had you guys do something just a few seconds ago. I had you do something really awkward. Some people felt really successful in it, some people didn't. What would be a suggestion from you guys on how to do that same thing and maybe make a few more people comfortable trying it out? Sure. Sure. So I asked you guys to, a few minutes ago, I asked you guys to do something weird to somebody else, right? And for them to respond and say yes, give the same answer, and then change it, right? Now some people were right on with that, no problem. But there were some people in the class that felt a little like awkward and tense doing it and didn't want to do it, right? And maybe they tried it out a little, but is there a way that I could have taught the class to make them get quicker to the point where they were comfortable trying it out? There, and then there.
So you could have presented an awkward situation and one that you'd previously experimented with that had several solutions. Because I know that there were a couple of, well, there was at least one awkward thing that I tried that really was sort of lacking for an elegant solution on the Paul's part. And it was like, well, okay, I guess that was just awkward and there was no great way out of it.
What was it?
It was that, I was like, what if I do a really awkward Texas Tommy? And the solution was, well, I guess I'll just sort of like try and get out of it. But whereas other things that I tried were like, oh, there was like multiple cool things that happened out of that. And so you could have been like, look, start here, so you took the pressure off the person, and then multiple solutions.
So I could have given people a first thing to try out. Awesome. Did something different?
Similar to that, but I did like email to launch to people do something on the floor so you can kind of go, oh, you know what, if anything goes. But at least you seem to be able to try it, and it's like this. I almost got my nipple pinched. I was game. I was game, but then we stopped and we did
So, just so everyone knows, nipple pinching, he's gay. Greg, did you have something different? Or?
Similar to the first thing I was going to say, you could present several options with yourself changing the situation. So you could ask some leaders to come out and do some awkward things. And then not just to change up the situation, but explain, okay, see this motion? I'm going to give this, and this is how I can see this motion works with my shoulder, and this does with my body.
I would just even say as a follow, knowing limits. Like if I know my lead, I'm comfortable with him, I don't necessarily care where he touches me in a sense. But if I don't know a guy, I don't want him coming up and touching my face. Like it's just, that's creepy.
Yeah.
So maybe just imposing some sort of non-creepy limits if you don't know the person.
Sure.
Because that was more like, oh, I don't really want to go up to someone because I don't know where they're going to touch me, and that might be creepy. And then the touching thing is creepy. And
I think trust is a big
So-
factor, because if there's a lead that I know that's putting my arm in this position, I'm like, you know what, I trust them that they're not going to hurt me, and that there's a good reason for my arm to be in this position. For someone who I've never met before, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So this is another great thing that I want to problem solve now is how do we, because my goal is for you guys to actually be totally comfortable with creepy. Now think about this though. Why is my goal that? Because I want you to have a great dance night. I don't want anybody else to ever be able to affect you in your dance night. So if you have that ability to be like, that guy's creepy, no big deal. I'm going to dance with him, I'm going to rock it out, I'm not going to let him do his creepy thing to me. Or I'm even going to change I'm going to find a way to change it, right? To me, that would be my eventual goal. There's still, I'm not perfect at this, there's still things that freak me out too, right? But my goal is in the class environment for me to learn something to be that much better. So one of those things that creeps me out, no longer creeps me out. by the end of the exercise, right? So we don't need to discuss right now, but you can always come up to me after, or just think about how would you solve that problem, and maybe you teach a class like this, and you find a way so that you can get somebody to the point where they're okay with the creepy, right? Or starting to be okay with the creepy, or something like that.
I think that's almost unfair though, because as the follower, you're the receiver,
Mhm.
so you sometimes have less control over the actions of the lead of the initiator. And if some guy's coming up to me to do this, am I going to grab his hand and smack it away, or like step back? Like,
Grab him back.
it's different.
Give him a creepy stare
Right,
back.
but my goal is to problem solve that.
Yeah.
Because I know there's someone out there in the world that can solve that no problem, right? So we can do it. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying you're going to be successful in this class. My goal is to start working towards being successful, right?
I hate to say this. I think there's a point, like, yes, that's awesome. But there's a point where, if Marissa doesn't like the face touch, Marissa doesn't like the face touch, and that's a phobia that she has, and it's not going to get solved.
I mean, I don't, but hypothetically, yeah.
Yeah.
And you asked a way for us to be more comfortable doing this, and I think the thing that was missing is how to say no politely. Because there is a point, and like, no one likes to hear no, but there's a point where if I'm coming to touch your face, there's a way to be like, nicely, so that I can,
Yeah.
still do it,
Yeah.
and you don't feel insulted, but you get the hint. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, but we're still having an awesome dance.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a good way. You can say it needs to get less creepy, but if there's a way to say,
Well, and I would like to even change that, like find a way to, and like not even think of it as a no, but like you're like if you go to touch my face, I can go like this, right? Or something that's not even a no. It's just it's like accepting into what the thing is. So that's
It's like, don't block, just redirect.
yeah. And the energy doesn't even have to be in that thing. It could be in the visual contact or something. So it doesn't have to be an exact match in the movement. Like if someone comes to grab my crotch, I'm probably not going to go grab theirs.
it's a way to
But at the same time, if I can come up with a way that is showing them that I'm accepting them as a person, right? And saying yes to them as a person while redirecting that one bit. That's the goal. Yeah.
With that said, and because I do dance salsa, one of my friends got her butt grabbed,
Oh.
and she goes, that guy never grabbed the butt. He was always up here. It told him what not to do, and they still dance together, but I don't know. He like
I have one more person, and then we're gonna move on. Yeah.
I think there should be made an important distinction between someone generally trying to do something they think is nice and that the other person doesn't like, and someone just being, creepy. Like, there are probably guys out there who will grab your ass repeatedly, and you can tell them no, and every time you dance with them, they're gonna try it.
Mhm.
Like,
That's when you smack them.
right,
Well-
like that's one thing, as opposed to people saying, I think this is kind of cool, and personally you don't like that, so you have fun. Like, I think there should be a distinction between those two things.
The thing is, for me, it's just my personal goal, and I'm sharing it with you guys to try it out, right? You don't have to take it on beyond this class. But my goal is really to, learn to love life and learn to love everything that happens, right? And to stop letting those things that bug me. So, if a guy keeps trying to grab my butt, I'm going to try, I don't know, my solution might be to just be not going to do it, and move it away each time, and then eventually, if I know it's happening a lot, rather than letting it frustrate me because I have to do the same thing, I'm going to think of new ways to do it and make a game out of it, right? So for me, it could be that I just talk to him and tell him, this makes me uncomfortable, and that solves my solution. That's another way of doing it. But my goal is to solve things rather than to constantly be stuck feeling like I have no way to solve this problem. I have to just deal with it, right?
So basically, the way I'm taking this is you're saying take something that's uncomfortable for you and turn it into something that you can be comfortable with.
Absolutely. In a way that makes them comfortable, right? In a way that makes them comfortable too. And be okay with failing. who cares? It's not that big a deal. We end up like, if we hurt someone's feelings, we say sorry, right? So yeah. So everybody up. We're gonna dance one last song all together. Just one big fusion steel dance thing, and that will be class.
Concern with us is like you can't stop triggers, right? They're just like always gonna exist, right? So you sort of like try and stop it. You're gonna let the triggers win.
So the song's not gonna change, but I want you to change partners. I want you to dance in groups at times. I want you to do whatever's natural.
Take your head around the world and see what you'll get from your mind. Write your soul down word for word and see who's your friend and who is kind. Well, it's almost like a disease. And I know soon you will need rise. And you will be strong, and you will be rich and love, and you will carry on. No one to be mine. Don't take your straight line for a curve. Make it stretch.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was my class. Thank you very much. You guys have a little break. You can practice. You can come ask me questions, all sorts of stuff, and ask me to dance tonight.
Thanks for the dance.
I know, I was like, I just started
such a idea. I wasn't that.